What's up, everybody? Big Lou Gaming. We are back, and we're gonna see what we can do today. Let me get some light going. Is that too bright? Nah, I think that's good. All right, let me see what we can do today with another tier list. Okay, the first one I thought was pretty good. Okay, I think I know the game fairly well. I think that I've played long enough to really know which tunes are better than others, which tunes stand out above others with a similar skill set. Um, but it seems like the Reddit community and people in general were not okay with my attackers tier list. So let me rewind and kind of let you guys know how I'm making my tier list. Okay, I'm not organizing them from when y'all see the screen left to right as to who's better within each tier. Okay, that's too much work. I'll be here all day. If that's the case, then I need to give a specific description for specific tunes each and every single time. Now, I'm more than willing to do that, and honestly, I think I am. I think I'm going to start with common tunes, rare tunes, go on to epics, or I might even go by section, right? Abalone, WB, forest, desert, city, town. You know, I'll just do it that way and kind of let you guys know where each of those tunes stand and what would be the best team comp to use within each specific section if you're a beginner or even as you're transitioning from beginner to intermediate to veteran, right? But let me break it down. So S tier, right? This means to me that this tune can stand alone and perform their own job with very good stats, okay? That's what I did in my attackers tune tier list, right? Black Knight Sam is not dependent on anyone. He excels with other people, but he is an amazing tune on his own as opposed to Jester Bugs, for example. Jester Bugs can be amazing. He can sweep a whole team, but you need dodge on your team to do that. You need a Penelope Couture or other dodging tunes like Roadrunner, Speedy, the new Showbiz Daffy if you're not that far ahead. But yeah, any Roadrunner tune, any Speedy tune can essentially dodge. Or like Scarecrow Sylvester, for example. You need someone to dodge for Jester's passive to kick in to give another attack on the team, right? And after going through Reddit and some of the comments, they're right. It's very hard to create a tier list without me talking about specific comps, right? A comp, if you guys are new to this, a comp is essentially a team build, how you build your team. For example, and because I just saw it right here, right now on my screen, Bellboy Daffy. He is definitely just a B tier tune, but pair him up with Bellboy Gossamer, and then pair Bellboy Gossamer with a tune that has very high speed that attacks consistently, like Speedy or Mel Runner, and then someone like Kitty Ketty, who can use the highest attack tune to attack several times. An example of that is Kitty Ketty uses her ability where the tune with the highest attack attacks, right? Let's say that's Mel Runner. Mel Runner attacks the team. Because Mel Runner attacks, Bellboy Daffy attacks. Bellboy Gossamer attacks. And because Bellboy Gossamer attacks, Bellboy Daffy attacks. You guys see how with one ability, your whole team attacks? And that's what I mean. Bellboy Daffy, to me, is a simple B tier tune. Standing alone without the most amazing comp incorporated into him, he's a B tier tune. He's a rare tune. Most rares, for the most part, land in B tier. Okay? But even if you pair him up with a regular defender, whenever your defender attacks, let's say Sam Sheepdog, who can counter, or She-Devil, who counters every time you attack her, he'll attack. Like Bellboy Daffy will attack. So even an argument can be made, right? So he's possibly an A tier tune. If you go with two defenders and a solid second healer, an offensive healer, like let's say Pepper LaBard, OG Goss, Sam Sheepdog, and Bellboy Daffy, right? Screw synergies. I think synergies are great, but bringing utility to your tune is what's most important to me, right? And the biggest thing that Bellboy Daffy does is attack when a defender attacks. So you have one defensive defender in Sam Sheepdog, one offensive defender in OG Goss, and then extra heals because he doesn't heal very much. So that would be Pepper LaBard. Or if you want a more, and I think Pepper LaBard is an offensive healer, right? He's not really so much of a support. But I mean, we'll get into that later. But that's what I was trying to say. So S tiers are tunes that can stand alone. They do phenomenally well, and they have generally very high stats, right? Again, thinking back to my attacker tier list, Grand Duke Sylvester, Black Knight Sam, King Bugs, even, right? And they are OP. Like, I lose to King Bugs teams with King Bugs all the time, all the time. He stuns any of my tunes, and his whole team has an extra 25% damage to my defenders. So there's not like the best thing that I can do to that is dodge, right? But even then, he can cause stun and push my turn meter all the way back so that the rest of his team can attack my stun tune. It's insane. So like, I think King Bugs doesn't get enough credit, especially now that we're in a meta where everything depends on buffs and debuffs, right? So King Bugs, whenever he gets a debuff, he heals a lot. He can potentially heal like, what is it, 15% or something like that. Every time he gets a debuff, he heals. Let's look into it real quick. That's why I have that other screen so I can show you guys. I have a Devil Dog tune up. Okay, but yeah, King Bugs. Who's laughing now? 15% of his health every time he gets a debuff. 15%, and people underestimate that. Like, he can essentially heal almost all of Speedy Gonzalez's damage every time he gets hit with him because Speedy has an AoE that causes 2 defense down. He'll heal that back up essentially because he has a pretty generous defense, right? 546 defense. That's very good, and his health is also very good. His speed is 140, and people forget that. If you tune that up, if I focus on Avaluni more in regards to speed, and he gets the first move and causes taunt on someone else, it's game over, right? But okay, so I'm getting off track, and I apologize for that. So A tier are amazing tunes that hardly need any support, right? People say OG Daffy is S tier. I think he used to be. He definitely used to be, when the only tunes that can like maybe counter him are Daffy Hood to take away those attacks, Granny to take away all those buffs, or Roadrunner, right? But now they've even made Speedy that he can steal buffs every single time. Now you have Egghead Jr. who can just flip all of those right back up. Now you have, again, Granny and even Roadrunner who got a massive buff, and his Hurricane ability is like every other turn. We can just continuously remove buffs. So is OG Daffy still S tier? With the right team, sure, but I don't think he's S tier anymore. And if you disagree with that, that's okay. It's okay to disagree with me. It's just, I use OG Daffy and he's 6-star, and teams counter him all the freaking time. Every single time. He's easily countered. Or if you just stun him once and he doesn't let the crits or the attack up stack up because he doesn't get a move off, that means he's solely dependent on the rest of his team to land crits. So an A tier tune is someone who can, for the most part, be a good standalone tune, but he needs at least one tune to support him, right? B tier, and that's how I'm breaking it down. B tier is a really good tune. You can use him. You usually need like 1 or 2 very good epic tunes, like A tier or S tier tunes with that B tune. But they can potentially be A tier with the right team, but they need at least 2 supports, or 2 tunes to complement them, right? I'll get to that, right? But a good example is Bellboy Daffy. He's already there, right? You need Bellboy Goss and then a very fast attacker to make him worth it. A C tier tune is a tune that your whole team basically needs to protect for them to gain some value, right? I'm trying to think of a good. I'll go through the tier list right now, but just think about that. Like, I'm not saying the whole. He still needs 2 tunes, but his stats are generally, the stats of a C tier tune are generally lower than a B tier tune. And then a D tier tune is a tune that completely needs to be protected at all costs to bring in that one ability that brings value to the team, right? Like, if all they do is heal and nothing else, then that you need to protect them, right? Like, I think Scout Granny is a good example of that, but I don't think she's D tier at all. Like I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, I'll just go through my list and you guys can agree or disagree, but be constructive, man. Be constructive. Like, leave a comment as to why you agree or disagree. or what I can do better, and let's work together. I have a Discord channel that you guys can jump in. Anyone can get approved to my general Discord channel, and we can talk about it, right? Lately, I've been hella busy. There's stuff going on at home. Nothing bad. It's more like I built a table. I have to paint it. I had to put some acrylic on it. I'm working on my lawn. I'm growing new grass. I have woodworking projects going on. It take up my time, you know. And then I'm also a family man. So that's why at times I take a little bit to reply. But for the most part, join my channel and have these conversations with me, okay? All right, so let's kick things off. These are in no specific order. Whenever I uploaded them, they were put in there alphabetically. So we're gonna go alphabetically. Barber Bugs, he's a B tier toon. I think something that he really needs to work on, or if he'd be a little better if his attack was a little higher. I have him at 7 stars now, and he just does such minimal damage. A really good thing about him is that he does give your whole team a stat up whenever he first starts his move. And then his nip in the bud is just straight damage. His healing is very decent, you know, 542 and removes 2 debuffs. But he just doesn't heal fast enough. What's the cooldown on that? Yeah, it's a 2 cooldown. So once you heal, 2 turns need to pass, and then he heals again. So that's a little complicated for me. I feel like that's a little. He's basically a little bit less than Porky Pig, because Porky Pig heals for a lot more. He's an epic toon, obviously, but he's a B tier. Barkeep, I've been trying to use him a little more, and he really shines whenever you're going against a team that's consistently landing crits. Okay, I promise I'm not trying to talk about every toon, but Barkeep, I have a lot of love for him, but he only heals 1 toon, and he does heal them to max health. His basic attack puts attack down, which is really good as a supporter. He gives him all speed down, and honestly, he does a lot of damage. His attack is 428, so he has a very good, decent damage. Oops, sorry about that. And then Sarsaparilla is his move that heals. But every time he gets critted, or someone lands a crit from the enemy team, the cooldown of that healing gets decreased. So he's someone that I love to use in war against the crit teams, right? They land the crit, cooldown decreases. I heal someone, they land the crit, I heal. But he's a very good toon, but he is strongly dependent on crits. So I'll put him at A tier just because his stats are just fantastic, and he can put out some pretty good damage. But I would say he's high B tier, low A tier. Okay. Chamberlain Porky, for the life of me, I do not understand why they put him at A tier. I've seen several tier lists and they would put him at A tier. I think that is back then when healers were very scarce, right? There's a small pool of healers that you can actually use, and everyone would either use Labard or Granny. And he would put it A tier. He has some value. He can take away some debuffs. He can grant buffs. He heals himself, so he has survivability. And he can heal the team. I think his cooldown is also 2. But I don't think he's exactly A tier. I have him at almost 7 stars. Excuse me. Almost 7 stars, and his stats are not very good. Am I missing something? Proper form. He can take off his volatile stuffing. Does some pretty good damage in general for a support, and it removes stats up from the enemy team. But I don't think he really brings too much to the table. So that's why he's basically a Barber Bugs to me. So I think that's why he's a B tier toon. But the case can be made for him to be A tier, but he's definitely not S tier. Show 4 Perky, I don't think I need to talk about him too much. He's a C tier toon. He does bring in some value. For example, in this current event, he's paired up with Vampire Ralph, one more supporter, and I think Leopold. But he can give your whole team amazing speed up, and it can really cause your team to cause a sweep, right? But it's very conditional, so he's definitely a C tier toon. Okay, let's go to the next, Chef Porky. I will put him at C tier. I know he can heal a pretty good amount, and he gives your team a health boost. But I don't know. Let's see. Grant 2 stats up to the, and then sorry, a ally. Remove 20% turn meter. Heal 28% of your members' max health. So he goes by percentage, not an amount. So that's very good for your tanks, but not necessarily very good for your supporters and attackers on your team, right? This is where it gives your whole team plus 8% max health, and then yeah, then the speed. So yeah, he doesn't bring much to the table. He's definitely a C tier toon. I have love for Climber Granny because she can consistently apply attack downs and she can consistently heal. Every single turn she can heal. So if she's being protected and you alternate your taunts, she can always heal. And then if your taunters can heal themselves, that's even better. But she doesn't put out a lot of damage. She doesn't really bring much else to that. It's just all of her abilities have no cooldown. You can use them repeatedly over and over and over again. Ooh, is this a defender? Did I mess this up? I think I did. Nope. He's a WB toon. He's a defender, so sorry about that, guys. Just scratch that. He's a defender. I probably thought he was Outlaw Sylvester, which you guys see right over here. All right, so let's ignore that. I'll put him back here. Okay, Cowgirl Granny. No value. There's no need to bring her in for anything really when you have Scout Granny. Cupid Elmer. I think he's definitely an A tier toon. He heals for so much, and he's a pretty good counter for all the Labards. Really, he does extra damage to Pepe Le Pews. Where is he at? He's my strongest forest toon. Cherub Aim. He flips 2 buffs on all. It's an AOE attack. I don't know why it always scrolls me on the way down. So his first one, if the enemy has he already has 3 or more debuffs, apply attack down for the rest of the battle. Heal 698 health, grant them healing over time. At the start of his next turn, cleanse 5 debuffs from your team. So he's a really good counter for damage over time toons, right? Sheriff's Aim, flip 2 buffs. It's an AOE attack. That's pretty decent damage. Leap to Aid, gain turn meter. Love's Burden. At the start of this toon's turns, this is where it really comes in handy. All enemies with 3 or more debuffs lose 25% turn meter. That's insane. So I like to pair him up with Grand Duke Sylvester. Why? Because if they attack my Grand Duke Sylvester and he attacks back, that's already 3 dodge chance down. Each one of those toons that he attacks gets 25% turn meter off. And Cupid Elmer's pretty quick, I think. 122, not too bad. And then Wilsome Hearts. So your whole team has 40% resistance to damage over time. I think it can get up to 50%. And then every time when your team gets applied that, you heal it for 199. So he's bringing some passive healing every time your team gets a damage over time. So again, very conditional. I love using him against damage over time island in war. All right, this guy here, Curator Porky, he's B tier. He can stun, he can give counter, he gives attack up or counter chance up to the toon with the highest attack. Works very well with Grand Duke Sylvester or Outback Dog. Dr. Dogstein, he's a B tier toon with the chance to be A tier. Paired with the monster team, he is fantastic. But don't think that he can heal the team on his own. He's not a monster toon. So if he was paired with Vampire Ralph and he was a monster toon, he can have even more healing on top of that because Ralph has an ability that gives monster toons the ability to heal every time they cause damage. But he's not a monster toon. So he ignores dodge completely with his first ability. He causes stun and AoE with his second ability. He gives sure critical and removes 2 negative effects from your team with his third ability. Life inducing. This is where he really shines a little more than others. Whenever someone falls below 35% health, once each ally heals them for 40% health. Unnatural Sciences. Whenever a team member is stunned, you give them 2 to 3 speed up for 2 turns, so they can catch up, right, and get that turn off. So again, not too bad. With the monster team, So you guys can see here, Monster Foghorn. He shines a little better, but he is definitely a toon that I use consistently on the last R&D that just happened, where it's like you gotta apply defense down and give your team crits up. And I like to use them against dodging teams. Okay, so that's that. All right, Egghead Jr. definitely A tier. I wish he would heal. I wish he would. So you can't use him unless you have another healer on your team. But the fact that he can flip all debuffs and flip all buffs on the enemy team is fantastic. It really is fantastic. And then every time a Mastermind toon gets hit, he gives them, I think, turn meter or attack up. I forget. He's actually a feature toon right now. I don't think he's worth dishing out all your gold tickets for and stuff like that. But he is a really good toon. And then his first ability, gave your team 2 attack up and 15% turn meter, can be the game changer, right? If your toon is right behind the enemy and he uses this ability and he gets you above him, he can give a couple extra hits off. Problem solving, that's the one that flips all buffs. Humbling presence, that's that. Catastrophic, your team has 150% critical defense, so the enemy team won't land crits essentially. And then Boy Genius, yeah, and the toon that attacks your Mastermind toon, you give him a 3 attack down. So honestly, looking at him right now, I would say he's high B tier, low A tier, because his best ability is the buffs, right? Okay, so let's go to Elf Daffy. He's a B tier toon. He's actually another feature toon in this event right now. The best thing about him is that he can be used for that Acme R&D for speed. I use him consistently on that. He can flip all debuffs on your team whenever he uses his healing ability, and he can also give speed up. I just got him to 7-star. His stats are still but he dies very quickly, even though he has 520 something defense. But keep it up. Whenever an ally lands a critical hit, give a positive status effect for 2 turns. Now, Scopely, if you're watching this or hearing this, please remove the ability for taunting, because sometimes he lands a crit and then he gains taunt. Like, no, I hate that. Because then he just dies. He's not a tank. So, all right. So production line, gain 2 positive status effects for 2 turns. He's really good with a counter team too, because he'll just continuously gain positive status effects. Deadline, yeah, give 2 to 3 speed up and turn boost, and then converts all negative status effects. Plus he heals. I wish he healed a little more, but we can't have it all, right? That's why he's B tier, because he doesn't really heal that much. Farmer Petunia, I'll put her at C tier. I don't think I need to talk about her much. She does heal pretty good whenever her toon goes below a certain health, but she's decent. Farmer Porky, same thing. Pussycat Sylvester, he's a B tier toon. I wish I don't know. I wish his stats were a little better. I feel like he dies very quickly, but he does thrive with a forest team. So I haven't really worked on him, to be honest. So maybe that's why I feel like he's a little weaker than he is. But I am gonna farm his pieces eventually and try to get him to 7-star and then level him up. Yeah, but I don't think there's anything too special. He does give your team attack up. But again, like there's so many other toons now that do that I don't think he's necessary. But he's definitely a B tier toon. All right, Flamenco Prissy, A tier. She can give your team dodge chance up by 20% with her first ability, which is more than enough if you pair her up with some of your toons, or if you just want that passive healing. Again, she'll be completely S tier if you pair her up with Penelope Couture, Pepe Labard, and Jester Bug. That team right there, once I get them strong enough, is probably going to be my main team. It is very hard to deal with unless you have a Grand Duke Sylvester or someone that bypasses dodge consistently. But Flamenco Prissy, fantastic toon. I don't think I need to talk about her too much. She just had an event. He's definitely A tier. Granny. All right. So this is where we start getting into the nitty and gritty, right? I know a lot of y'all are going to disagree, but Granny is not S tier anymore. Why? Again, same thing that I was explaining with OG Daffy. Devil Dog exists now. Everyone has Devil Dog. Even if the Devil Dog is weak and your only healer is Granny, as soon as you put your healing over time and you don't have a secondary healer and Hector brings in his remove healing over time ability and apply damage over time, your whole team is not healing for the rest of the fight. Maybe your taunter or if your team gains hidden, but then who's gonna protect Granny, right? So Granny used to be S tier. She's now A tier because she needs one more healer with her. If not, it won't work. Can you get away with it? Yes. I'm not saying it's impossible. You gotta time it very, very right. If you're going up against a Devil Dog, that Devil Dog needs to go immediately. But what if it's a Devil Dog with a Pepper LaBard and a second healer and a strong attacker? Who do you go for first, right? What if it's like Pepper LaBard, Cupid Elmer, Devil Dog, and Black Knight Sam? It's a very good comp, right? What do you do there? You can't just go for Devil Dog right away. You need to get rid of the healers because he's gonna be healing the whole time. As soon as Devil Dog taunts, your attack is way low, your defense is way low. So who's gonna fix all of that? I'm trying to fix this light. I feel like I'm way too bright. All right, hopefully, no. All right, whatever. So yeah, so Granny used to be S tier, now she's A tier. Speedy Gonzalez eats her up. Roadrunner eats her up, and those are very common tunes. Even Daffy Hood now can steal healing over time. Check me on that, guys. I haven't checked. I don't use Daffy Hood that often anymore. I haven't tested it out. But Granny used to be S tier, now she's A tier. She's still very good. She's actually in one of my top teams. And that team consists of, man, I have no banks. I have no crates. But one of those teams consists of Scarlet Pumpernickel, this, and Granny. There, she's S tier, 100%. Because even if her healing is gone, Sylvester can make up for that healing. Okay? And then every time they gain hidden and they give her hidden, she heals, right? And Scarlet Pumpernickel protects her if she gets targeted because she gives herself hidden. So that's a very good comp right there. All right, moving on. Handmaiden Granny, C tier, potentially B tier with the right tunes. If your tunes want to go straight up, slow your enemy team down. I've lost to a 7-star team of common tunes, which was Handmaiden Granny, so Photo Sylvester, Scarecrow Sylvester, and I think Farmer Petunia. It was all 7.7 stars. Their power level was like 48,000, and my 62,000 team lost to that. It was insane. I couldn't move. I had no chance to make a move. They kept slowing me down, and they kept healing, and it was just horrendous. Kitty Catty. She's my first support right now that's S tier. She doesn't necessarily need anyone to help her out. Does she need to be protected? Sure. But that's every supporter, right? Think about that. Every supporter needs to be protected, essentially, with a very strong defender, or by you applying pressure with your attackers. But Kitty Catty, this Foghorn Leghorn event, I was just talking to Philly about it. She's featured, and so is Tweety, and Foghorn, obviously. And then I forget who the strong attacker is. But if you use it like this, so that Kitty Catty, Tweety, Foghorn, who are the attackers? Who are the featured attackers? I forget. And let's say one of your tunes that is featured is your strongest attacker with the highest attack. You're never gonna stop healing, and you're never gonna stop causing damage. Because whenever Tweety asks for an assist and it's Kitty Catty, then your attacker will attack because it uses her first ability. So I tested it. Actually, I'll test it right now. I'll show you guys. I'll do this as I keep talking, okay? But let's go to Brawl. I'm going to go against a weak team. And this is what I did, right? Because this is coming up, guys, so pay attention. So Fogleg, he's going to be a featured tune. And then I brought in Black Knight Sam, just because he's my strongest attacker. I need someone that has a higher attack than Foghorn Leghorn for Kitty Catty to properly work. And then I bring in, where is she? Kitty Catty. I want to get her to 6-star. And Tweety. This team can put out some very good damage. So every time Kitty calls for assist, Black Knight attacks. Every time Tweety calls for an assist and it's Kitty, Black Knight attacks again. And then Black Knight's turn comes in, he attacks again. Black Knight can get 3 attacks off within the first round of turns. Potentially. So look at this. Second ability, inflict deny dodge, and call an ally to assist for 150% attack. See, it's Kitty Ketty, and then who attacks? Black Knight Sam. That's crazy. So then you do this, her first ability, which causes the highest attack to attack. Use that. Who attacks? Black Knight Sam. Now he's almost dead. So then you're gonna taunt with oh, and then who gets to go again? Black Knight Sam. This worked out perfectly. I missed the attack as he's dodging, but Black Knight Sam just attacked 3 times in the first round of turns. So here it's really just all depends. So if you want to keep your Kitty Ketty alive and she needs some defense up, then use your second ability and have your Foghorn attack, right? But I don't think you need it right now because he's taunting. So do this again. Black Knight Sam attacks, right? And this is where you get a kicker out of it. Anytime someone assists, Tweety heals them 15%. So I need to tune him once he can heal for more, but 50% anytime someone assists. So what sucks is whenever Kitty Ketty assists Tweety, Black Knight's the one that gets healed. But that would have been too broken if they both got healed. So you're going to use Tweety's last ability, which I know y'all can't see it, but everyone attacks. So do this. Kitty Ketty makes Black Knight Sam attack. Oh, I should have gone for someone else. Foghorn, and then he attacks again. Black Knight Sam attacks twice, and Foghorn attacks once. So let me just finish this fight, but that's basically the strategy that I might go for. And don't forget, Kitty Ketty can heal. So use that. Every time it's her turn, she heals the team. Anytime someone assists, they get healed. So it's super OP. It works. And this is a strategy I'm gonna try to use, given that there's no toon restrictions, okay? But I just wanted to show you guys that. You guys don't have to keep paying attention to that. I'm gonna put it on auto, and then I'll keep going. All right, Lunar Petunia, she's A tier, okay? I don't like her too much, but I know her value, and I know I'm very biased. I just don't have her strong enough. She can give your team attack up and defense up every other turn. If your team gets stunned, she heals them completely. And then her second attack puts 6 attack down on an enemy toon. Her first ability, I think, puts 1 attack down. I don't remember. But she's a very good toon, generally speaking. And she definitely deserves to be A tier. Yosemite Sam, B tier. He gives your whole team 4 defense up. He can stun. And anytime someone counters, he heals them. So he's definitely B tier, especially when paired with the right team. Oh, Pat. I'll be honest. Okay, this is almost embarrassing. Oh, Pat was such a bad event for me that I don't know much about him. So steals 2 to 3 stats up, scrambles all taunt and hidden, which brings no value to me. A random enemy has a powerful gold. Defeating that enemy heals the attacker to full and grants them. I don't care about that. Stirring strikes, speed up to a random ally, attack up to a random ally. Team member with the highest attack gets 16% speed. Okay, I can see his value now. And this toon's attack steal 1 to 2 heal over time plus a buff. Okay, I can see his value. Oh, I moved that by accident. I can see his value. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna put him B tier for now, but take that with a grain of salt. I think he has the ability to be A tier. Okay. Outlaw Sill, B tier. Very good toon. I recommend you farm him as much as you can. He attacks any defender when he taunts, crit chance up, and his attacks calls defense down for 4 turns. He's a very good supporter. He just doesn't heal, so he's an attack supporter, all right? I don't know. Okay, guys, take this with a grain of salt again. I think Paper LeBar deserves to be S tier, but he did get a huge nerf. Now, if you stun him, he no longer heals for his turn. So, and he is somewhat squishy. He can get taken out pretty quickly. But with that being said, you'd be a fool to not bring in a defender with him, right? So he has a pretty high attack, 442. But his first attack causes higher damage than that. I think 110%, 120. So 540 damage. Serenade. If you know you're about to get hit, and there's nothing you can do, no one taunts, then use it. Give the enemy attack down. Okay. Roll rounded. So his stats are actually higher than they look. Whenever an opponent is defeated, gain 30% turn meter, which means you heal your team again even faster. And then here's the kicker. At the start of every turn, heal your whole team for 392. Give this man speed ups with Roadrunner, it's over. And even a standalone toon, like, he doesn't need anything. He literally is just saying, let me have a turn and I'm going to heal. And he's pretty quick too, right? 140. A very quick toon, right? Not the fastest, but he's pretty quick. So he can, the case can be made for him to be a top tier A toon, like A tier toon, but I think he's S tier. All right. Let's keep it going. Ooh, man, one more day, 35 minutes. Porky Pig. You guys just had an event on him. He's A tier. He just had a rework. He's now one of my strongest healers and strongest toons in general. You're it. 4 attack up, attack down, same as Granny. Party Cake, heal 499 and heal over time for 3 turns. Fortifying Strikes. He works really well with Henry Hike. This toon's attacks grant defense up to random ally for 3 turns. Emergency Care, 20% speed, Swine Grace. Every time someone heals, give your strongest attacker 2 speed up. And I just saw a video earlier, like, pair him up with Contender Sylvester. Every time Contender Sylvester heals his health back, granted he's not stunned or silenced, or just stunned, I think, he's giving your strongest attacker speed out to attack faster and put some damage out. And Celsic, plus 10% defense for each Daffy toon on the battlefield. So Prize Fighter, OG Daffy, and Henry Hike, right? That would be a very good team comp. All right, let's keep going. She's B tier. She gives your whole toon turn boost, and she flips speeds, and this is a very good support toon. Queso Bandito, man, okay. I think he's S tier, to be honest. He doesn't need anything. Mine is weak, but God, Queso is just so good, so good. He steals your buffs, and then he heals your team with that. He puts out massive damage. He gains 2 stats, so for every stat up, he heals. Heal all team members by 15%. Add an extra 5% health for each positive status effect on this toon. I hate going up against him. Hate it. And then at the start of each toon, gain dodge chance up for each ally above 70% health. So you can't even hit him. It's crazy. Definitely S tier, in my opinion, okay? I'm going to do the same thing with legendaries. I don't want to talk about legendaries, so I'm going to put him in D tier. Referee Fog. He's a very high A tier for me. Okay, we just had an event on him. I already explained why. Essentially, you want to use him against critical teams, or just use him in general because of his really high defense. Reindeer Roadrunner, definitely A tier. Again, this is not necessarily in a specific order, guys, alright? But Reindeer Roadrunner, definitely A tier. For every silenced toon you heal, crazy. He silenced that, and he at least he has an ability where he silences a toon for the whole fight. So it's hard to counter that, okay? Roadrunner, A tier, especially after that buff. I think it's every 2 turns or every other turn. I don't know. Let me check real quick. Where he can use his last ability. I need to tune him up, but Hurricane, cooldown 2. So every other turn, he can remove 3 to 4 buffs. That's crazy. It used to be a cooldown of like 4, and they half that. So that's really good. Okay, Rugged Sylvester. I want to say he's B tier. Okay, he doesn't bring much to the table. He counters a little bit of damage over time, I think. His healing's pretty decent, but he doesn't bring much else. D tier. He doesn't bring any value to the team, really. Yeah, I don't think anyone uses him. Scarecrow Sylvester. Jeez. Okay, I want to say he's high B tier. The case can be made for A tier, okay? The case can be made for A tier. He slows the whole enemy team down. He can put defense down on a single 2 and apply damage over time. Alright, Scout Granny, B tier. Works very well with your Force Toons. Settler Granny, C tier. Doesn't bring much to the table. Sheriff Porky, B tier. He does bring in some value to the team. I just forget what it is. So keep order, detain, remove turn meter. Yep, grant attack up to random ally for the rest of the battle. He heals pretty decently, and he grants attack up. Fastest gun, 30. Yeah, that's the kicker. That's why he's a B tier toon. Pair him with Outback Dog. Your team has 65% chance to counter. So he's a B tier. The case can be made for C tier. He can be bumped down, but I think he's a B tier. He's just fine at B tier. All right. C tier, he doesn't bring any value to the team. Space Cadet is a B tier. Why? Because Space Cadet has the ability to inflict so much attack down at the beginning of a fight or at any point after. 4 to 7 attack down. Cooldown 3. If his cooldown was 2, he could probably be a high B tier toon. But he's definitely just a B tier toon. I think it takes too long to heal. Yeah, cooldowns 2. It's okay. It's decent. Alright, last couple toons. Oh, she's an attacker. So again, ignore this. I'm gonna put her to the back. My boy Sylvester Jr. A tier. Can the case be made for S tier? Maybe, but he is strongly dependent on at least one toon being able to gain hidden. Alright? Vampire Ralph is really good with him. We just had an event for him. I don't think I need to talk about him too much. He's a really, really good toon, but he needs that support. Same thing with, actually, I haven't used him in so long. Let me go check him out. I know he heals very, very decently. So, all right, Icy Trickle, 309 damage, chili, and 3 defense down. Wow, that is amazing. Okay, heal all team members for 262, cleanse 3 debuffs, and all chili from each rabbit team member. That's right. I remember. I think the featured toons were like Valkyrie, OG Bugs, Leopold, etc., etc. He works very good, very well with a rabbit team. Okay, call all rabbit and Daffy allies to assist. Very good. This toon is also a rabbit. All rabbit have 25% critical chance. That was the team that I used. OG Daffy, Valkyrie, OG Bugs, and then Tourist Daffy. Fantastic. So once per battle, whenever a team member falls, heal that team for 40% health. So same thing that Dr. Dogstein does, but at an epic level by granting 2 attack up. And then emergency cares give us speed, 25% speed whenever someone's below health, right? Very good toon. I wish I had him stronger. I only got him to 4.3 stars. Hopefully the next time he comes around, I can get him to maybe 6 star. Okay. Treasure Tweety's a legendary. I'm not going to talk about him. Valkyrie. My girl. I cannot talk enough about Valkyrie. She is just an all-around fantastic toon. I need to tune her up. I need to max her out. I think I'm at 26. Yeah, I need a carrot for the next tune-up. But very good damage at 453, gaining speed up for 2 turns. This is one of the best ones. Remove 5 debuffs and give them healing over time. She would be even better if she could heal for more than 226. If she healed for like 400 or double that, amazing. This move right here, so she's one of the few toons that has 4 abilities. Her third ability, silence it for 3 turns and inflict damage over time for 3 turns, and it inflicts a little bit of damage. I need to tune her up so that she silences them for 4 turns and applies damage over time for 4 turns. And then her last ability does the same amount of damage as her first ability, but remove turn meter. Can be a lifesaver. Alright, Humbling Strikes. These two's attack inflict 2 stats down. Emergency Care, her speed goes up. And then Air's Favorite. At the start of each of this turn's toons, grant all of this to a random toon. Insane. This is very, very good. Pair her up with Henry Hike as well. Fantastic. But yeah, she's one of my S tier toons, I think, and she's just one of the best toons. I fucked up with this. Oh, sorry for my language. I messed up with this. I forget if this is she even a support toon? Yeah, she is. Okay. For some reason I always confuse her with the other witch. But yeah, this witch Lisa, she's decent. She's a C tier toon. No, I don't even want to talk about it. There's not much he really brings to the table. Same thing with Wader, Elmer Fudd, okay? But I'm just gonna go ahead and stop there, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know where y'all stand with all of this. I don't think I'm messing up too bad. Like, I think I'm doing pretty good with that. All right. But yeah, here's my list. I have 4 S tier tunes, a pretty good chunk of A and B tier tunes. Hopefully, this helps you guys figure out who y'all want to focus on. But I think the easiest one to focus on is Pepe Labard, okay? Because you guys can get him on the daily ticket as well. But if you guys don't have him, he's a rare tune, so he's easy to level up to, or to obtain, sorry. But if y'all don't have him, right now, I think the best healer for you to farm and to actually work on is Barber Bugs. Because he's farmable through the campaign, and he's a very good healer. You just gotta protect him. So work on Barber Bugs, work on maybe one of the Porkies like Sheriff or Farmer Porky if you guys need to be able to farm this healer. And of course you got Sylvester, Fisherman Sylvester. So those are the 4 tunes that I recommend farming on, with Barber Bugs being at the top, okay? But all right, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this list serves y'all some good purpose. Again, thank y'all so much for all the subscriptions that I've been getting. I saw that someone that's an ambassador only has about 560 subscribers. So hopefully the threshold is only 500 subscribers. Guys, help me get there, please. All right. Next giveaway is at 200 subscribers. B Philly and Mike have still not really claimed they don't want anything yet. That's because the event right now doesn't really have something that they want. Hopefully the next event they're willing to claim the reward. Okay. But thanks for watching. Please help me out. I want to be a content creator. Haruki was fantastic. Just help me get there, guys. All right. But stay safe. Have a good night. Big Lou Gaming out.